review on the e61 BMW 530i. This car is something that we've really enjoyed having. For me, the 5 Series e61 is long, sleek. The 5 Series station wagon actually sits on a 7 Series chassis. So when you're out on the highway and touring, this thing just feels like a limo. Very comfortable to drive, very nice car. Also, when it comes to parking it, that's when you really notice the length of it. Like, she's a long car. I've got a 1 Series sitting over there, and you can see there's a very big difference in length. That'll probably be both ends. I'll square up here so you can see how much extra bonnet there is on this thing. But I mean, I'm going to do this review for e60 as well, which is the sedan. You see at the back. Yeah, it's even longer here as well. So there's a very big difference in the length of these, but also in the load space. This has been a great car. We've had it for about 20 months now. So definitely time to give it a review. The 530i, the 6-cylinder engine, is very impressive. When we bought this, I test drove the 2.5 litre engine and the 3 litre engine, and there's a very big difference in those two. The 3 litre engine really has a lot more power and legs. That's it there. Out on the highway is probably most where you notice the difference. This has really what you call long legs. It loves to be out on the highway. We've made a couple of work trips in this where it's been 5 hours on country roads to get to where we're going, so sitting on 100 kilometers an hour, and that's when it really comes into its own. I mean, it's great around town as well, but there's no doubt on the long trip, that's when it really comes into its own. And the 3 litre engine, I have had BMW X5s with the V8s, and of course they're beautiful, but they are heavier on fuel, and this 3 litre 6-cylinder is also very impressive in that it doesn't chew as much petrol obviously, but very powerful. It'll put you back in the seat and really goes nicely. So very, very happy. If you are looking, you know, 2.5 or the 3, obviously the 2.5 will probably use a little bit less petrol, but hey, if you're buying a BMW, get one with a bit of power. So I'll be running with the 3 litre. We've had no particular problems on this. It's easy to change the spark plugs and things like that. You just can take that cover off, 4 bolts. They're a bit hard to get to at the back, but you can get them out. And it's quite easy access to the 6 spark plugs. So servicing is easy, your airbox is here. But yeah, very happy with the car. It's a rear wheel drive BMW, similar to the 1 Series sitting here. But so therefore it drives and handles like a BMW because it's powerful, it's a rear wheel drive, and it's a lovely car to drive. There's a big difference, like the 5 Series here really is a limo. As I said, actually the station wagon sits on a 7 Series chassis, so it's even longer again. But this little guy here, the 1 Series, it's like a little racing car. It's a 2 litre, a 120i, so less power than this big guy. But in a drag race, probably for the first 50 feet, this little guy would win because it's so much lighter. It'll get up off the line and get going. And then this will absolutely eat it. And the top speed of this, I know, would be a whole lot more as well. I tend to think of BMWs. You've got heavy BMWs like the 5 Series, 3 Series, X5. And then they've got light BMWs. There are a lot more effort's gone into making them light, like the 1 Series and like the X1, X3, things like that. They're a lot lighter car. And this here, the 5 Series wagon, that's what you might call, some would call a real BMW. So very enjoyable car to drive. It's got the big moonroof up the top, lovely leather seats inside. It has comfort access. See, I've got the key in my pocket. I've just touched that handle. I'll do that again so that you can see it. I'll lock the car. Car's now locked. I'll let you see the indicator up there and here. Just put my hand on top like that and it unlocks. That's the comfort access system, and it has keyless start, so you, with the key in your pocket or in your handbag, you can that way inclined, you can just hop in and start the car. Have a look. I'll put a link up here to a video where I showed the keyless entry in detail. These are the cup holders. Give that a press and they pop open, which holds the cup. It's not brilliant, that one. The BMW has dropped that idea. I had a 3 Series E90 that had the same as this, what the e60, e61 has. It's very intrusive for the passenger. When you're sitting here, if you've got your knee up, that's touching. That puts the driver's cup right in your face, so that's not much fun at all. Your cup's here, but again, when it's out, it's very intrusive and coming right out and all the rest of it. So they're a bit of a fail. BMW's moved the cup holders down to the center console now, which is a much better idea. But you know, they do the job, particularly if you're just driving around by yourself. Then it's absolutely fine. Lovely interior, fully automatic with the heating. This one here is an M Sport, so it's got the tacho, really good cruise control in these 5 Series, my gosh, or the X5's got the same thing. You can actually move it around in groups of 10 kilometers an hour on the cruise. Really, really well set up and works very, very well. The stick here, if you press it away from you and press it hard, it goes in groups of 10 kilometers. So it actually sets the kilometer that it goes to. And if you push it just soft, then it goes in 1 kilometer. So if you're on cruise control at 80, for instance, and you drive into a 100 kilometer hour zone, you just bang, bang, and it will take you up to 100 kilometers an hour. It'll move that 20 Ks for you. So really excellent system. We had an 07 X5, which had the same cruise control as this 07 5 Series wagon. So they were brilliant. So yeah, you know, it's got all the airbags, all the safety, all the anti-intrusion bits and pieces, airbags all through the doors, all through it. So BMW, it's safe. This airbag's up the top there. You got all your full sunroof controls. So we really did love that wagon. Enjoyed driving it. But the big thing was it did have some electrical gremlins. It's got a complex computer system with a complex reporting system that would tell you all about every little thing that was going on, and it would come up and say, oh, this is not working or that's not working. It was very German in that it wanted you to know absolutely everything that was going on all the time, and sometimes we didn't want to know exactly how much was going on all the time. So this age, around the 07, in the 7 Series and 5 Series, became a bit famous for being cars that could have a few electrical gremlins and a few problems. So if you're not willing to chase those down and spend the time, it's certainly not the BMW without those sort of issues. The more complex they get, the more you get. But even that being said, what a pleasure this thing was to drive. Very BMW. Loved the handling, loved the power, loved the look. It was a great car.